Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. A Luna's Journey from Servitude to Strength. Episode 4. CH21. Catalina's POV. I wake up a few hours later with the same radiating pain. I feel Andrew's lips on me trying to soothe the pain away, but it isn't working. "Lena, you feel so good, every time," he says. He has such a mischievous grin and I laugh. "Oh, you think that's funny?" he says, lifting his head off the bed. He lifts me off of him and he sits up, getting on his knees behind me. We ride this high for hours, days. When we stop we eat, drink, shower, and sleep. The heat I radiate keeps our apartment hot like a sauna, but Andrew never complains or even says anything about it. Although I do notice him turn the air on more than once. Our showers are always cold. We do this over 4 days. Finally my heat is over, and we are both exhausted. On the 5th day we just stay in bed, but this time to sleep. Each day we had to switch beds so the sheets could be cleaned. We tried to be good while the cleaners were in the apartment. Or at least quiet. Andrew told me this will happen every so often until we mark each other. I hope we can mark each other soon because that was intense. On the 6th day we start to get ready for our trip to see Lilith. We're leaving for it tomorrow. Rachel tells me she's coming over. She misses me and wants to help me pack. Andrew and I are eating breakfast at the table when Rachel arrives with Murphy. "Hey guys," I say, standing up. I know Rachel is going to hug me, and hugs are so awkward when one person is sitting and one is standing. "Lena, I've missed you so much." To my surprise it's Murph. He comes over and gives me a big bear hug. I laugh at the unexpected hug and he pulls away. "No one keeps my future wife as busy and away from me like you do," he says, being funny. "Ha ha ha, you are so funny, Murph," Rachel says, shooing him away from me. Andrew laughs at the table. Rachel hugs me. "So no one missed me?" Andrew says, looking at them. They say nothing and turn back to me. "Are you excited for your trip?" Rachel asks. I bust out laughing and they all join me. "Of course we missed you, Drewy," Murphy says, like a person would when talking to a baby or a dog. Murphy tries to pinch Andrew's cheeks and Andrew swats his hands away. "If you are done, I'm going to head down to the office and go over something with Murph for while we're gone," Andrew says. He gives me a kiss and him and Murphy head out. As soon as they are gone, Rachel turns to me with a grin on her face. "So glad to see you survived your heat." She wiggles her eyebrows at me. I can feel my face turn red. She laughs at my reaction. She links her arm in mine and takes me to my room. I remember my first heat. Man, what an intense time. But you know it stops once you're marked. I'm actually surprised I don't see you marked today. Although I didn't mark Murphy for a while too, no pressure of course," she says as she pulls out a suitcase. "How many heats did you go through before you marked each other?" I ask. 3. After the 3rd round I couldn't do a 4th. They get worse each time. And you don't really know when they will hit. Mine were 3 months apart, give or take," she says. I start pulling clothes out. "So how long will you be gone?" she asks. Andrew said pack for 5 days. I say. Well, you better be back for all the wedding events or I'm going to give you the evil eye for a week. She says and we both laugh. She helps me pick out what outfits to take and what hair and makeup products to take. Once we are done packing, Rachel suggests we hang out in the studio so she can drink wine and I can paint. I haven't painted in a while, so I'm all for this idea. Rachel grabs a bottle and we head over. Why didn't you tell me about Julia? I ask her as she settles on the couch. Oh honey, I'm sorry. I honestly didn't think about it. From getting you out of your shell, you being attacked, to planning your ceremony, then you almost dying, it just never came up. She says, hoping I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad. I just feel like I don't know Andrew as much as I want to. I say, looking at my blank canvas. I know, hun. How did you meet Julia? She asks. We had training before my heat kicked in. She's really good. I think I really like her. I say. Julie is a spitfire. That girl has energy, I don't even know where it comes from. How was the training? Rachel says, sipping her wine. Yet I noticed. I broke her nose. Rachel almost spits out her wine. You did? She shui to go Luna warrior. She laughs. She's never called me Luna. And then inspiration hits, and I start painting. I paint for a while and Rachel drinks wine and reads a magazine. Every so often she tells me about something she's reading or something that happened over the days Andrew and I were tucked away from the world. I finish the painting hours later. Lena, it's beautiful. It's you. She says. I painted me as a warrior Luna. With Kayla in the background. It's all the parts of me. I love it. Thanks. I say. Babe, are you hungry? I hear in my mind link. Just then, like the thought of food, my stomach chimes in. Starving. I say back. Meet me at home and we'll order something. He says. Home. I guess this is home. Andrew wants to meet at home and we'll order food. I tell Rachel. Excellent, I'm starving and I just heard your stomach. She links her arm in mine and we head out. When we get in the apartment, I see Andrew, Murphy, and Julie hanging out on the couch. Hey Luna. Julie says. And Rachel, of course. She adds, hey, what are you doing here? I ask. Well, I figured since I've been missing in action I'd stop by before you guys leave. She says as I take a seat next to Andrew. He places his hand on my thigh. Guys, what are we eating? I can't talk about anything else until we decide. Murphy says, looking pained with hunger. What do you want? I asked Murphy since he seemed to be in the most discomfort. Pizza, and wings, and garlic knots. And we get it. You're hungry. Rachel cuts him off before he can add more food to the list. What do you say? You want pizza? Andrew looks down at me. Sure. As soon as I say this, Murphy stands up and gets his phone out of his pocket. He orders the food. Too much if I'm being honest, and we all chat. Julie recounts our training session and how I beat her. She broke your nose? Murphy asks. Yet it was a solid punch. Julie says. I feel a bit embarrassed. I'm not known for hurting anyone. but they all seem to like the idea that I can throw a punch. It's so strange how a life can change over the course of a few months. When the food arrives, we all dig in. It's pretty good too. I'm surprised to see Murphy and Julie each eat a whole pizza. Warriors, they eat like elephants. Rachel says, noticing my surprise. Murphy and Julie laugh. Are you bringing any warriors with you on this adventure? Murphy asks. I didn't even think to ask. We'll have some on the flight with us, but they can't come to the location with us. My dad says she's reclusive. Andrew replies. Is she dangerous? I ask, looking at him. Well, if you can break Julie's nose, I think you can take this lady. And besides, my dad says she's harmless. Well, harmless to you at least. He says. How is she harmless to me? What about them? I feel like my life just keeps giving me questions with no answers. And I haven't talked to Kayla in a while because she is the main offender. I wish she would tell me what to do, or what needs to happen. I start getting annoyed thinking of everything I can't control. I just want to be happy and have a normal life, but no, I had to be abused and tortured. Now I've found my mate, but I can't mark him. I can't be normal. I feel the heat start rolling off of me. I close my eyes. I let my thoughts spiral. I can't even hear them talking anymore over the sounds of my own thoughts. They echo in my mind. Why did I let them hurt me? Who will I become? When will I know? Then I hear. Catalina. I shoot my eyes open and see the fire. Andrew's POV. Well, if you can break Julie's nose, I think you can take this lady. And besides, my dad says she's harmless, to you at least. I say. Everyone laughs, except Lena. She looks lost in thought. Murphy is talking about something and I feel heat start to roll off Lena. I try to calm her by placing my hand on her thigh. She doesn't react. I feel more heat and she closes her eyes. Lena, are you okay? I ask in a whisper. More heat? Lena. I say a little louder, getting everyone's attention. She doesn't respond. Then out of nowhere I see a flame. We all stand up and back away from the table. Catalina. I yell and she opens her eyes. A second later the flame is gone. We are all in shock. Lena gets up from the table, runs to her room and shuts the door. What was that? Julie asks. Rachel, Murph, and I all look at each other. What was that? She asks again. Something's going on with Lena, it's why we are going to see this woman. I tell her. She just made fire. Julie says in shock. Well, it was more like a little flame. Murphy corrects and Rachel hits him. Enough of this little flame crap. Rachel says. You mean she's done this before? Julie asks. Once, we all shifted and went for a run. She was running really fast and left little flames where her paws touched the ground. Murphy says and Rachel hits him again. Say little flame one more time. Rachel warns. I need to go check on her. I say and head towards Lena's room. I knock on the door. Lena, it's me, can I come in? I say through the door. I don't want to just walk in on her. The door opens and she walks back to the bed. Lena, are you okay? I ask and kneel down in front of her. She doesn't make eye contact with me. I go to touch her but she flinches a little and I feel a ping in my heart. Lena, I'm sorry I yelled at you. I just didn't know how to get your attention. What happened? I ask looking at her hoping she'll answer. I don't know what happened. 1 minute I was fine and the next my thoughts just spiraled out of control. I felt so angry. She trails off at the end. Angry about what? I ask. She fidgets with her hands. How much I don't know. She finally says. About. I ask everything. She blurts out. I can see she's getting frustrated all over again. I stand up and close the door. What's everything, Lena? I say in a more firm voice. She shoots daggers at me. She is definitely frustrated. Everything. Me? Who am I? What do I have to become? Why can't I mark you yet? She gets up from the bed and starts pacing the room. What events have to happen? Why can't I just be normal and happy now that I've found my mate? Why am I so good at fighting in such a short period of time? Why can't Kayla just tell me what is going on? Why does she have to be so cryptic? Why is she so calm for a wolf? Why did I let my family hurt me? What am I going to do about Yuri? Why am I radiating heat? Why don't I know more about you? You. Why didn't I know you had a sister? What else don't I know about you? Who were you before me? I can feel the air is thick with heat. She is still pacing the room. What is the legend? Why does it have to be me? Am I really ready to be a Luna? Will I be any good? Everything. She yells and stares at me. She stops moving and then tears fall down her face. I step toward her and catch her as she crumbles into me and to the floor crying. I knew she needed to get this out. I knew she had a lot going on but I have been so swept up in it all that I didn't talk to her about, well, everything. I sit with her on the floor while she cries into me. I just sit there holding her until I hear the cries lighten and her breathing is heavy. I pull her back and look at her. Lena, you have a lot of good questions. I can answer a few of them. But I'm hoping over the next few days you can get the answers to all of them. I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you about everything. I just got caught up in living, which isn't an excuse. I say. Her eyes are red and she looks like she could go back to crying at any moment. Then she looks in my eyes and in the softest, smallest voice she asks, "What's happening to me?" Her voice gives way to tears again and I pull her to my chest. I don't know, love. But we're going to find out. I hold on to her. I hold her like I think she'll fall apart if I let her go. I hold her until she stops crying again. We sit there in silence. My shirt, wet from her tears. I don't want to be rude, I know they were all here to spend time with us before we left. She says in my chest. But I'm tired. She adds. I pull her back. How about I put you in bed and I'll go out there and say good night to everyone. I don't even know if they are still out there. I say. I don't want to cut your night short. I just want to lay down. She says. Okay, love, let's get you to bed. We stand up and I tuck her in. She doesn't even want to take off her clothes. I kiss her forehead and step out of the room. I'm surprised to find all three of them still there. How is she? Rachel asks. She's stressed and overwhelmed. I thought she was transitioning so well. I should have talked to her about everything going on. Maybe I was trying to avoid it because I didn't have answers for her. I feel like a crappy mate. Andrew, I don't think she knows a lot. She didn't know about the heat. I was surprised her mother didn't tell her. Julie says. I'm not surprised. Rachel adds. What am I missing? Julie asks. We sit down and tell Julie about Lena. About where she came from and what happened to her. We tell her about her scars and the attacks. Goddess, Julie says, looking at the floor. She told me she was training because she was tired of living in fear of the people that hurt her. Julie says, almost like she's in the memory. I hope this trip gives her the answers I can't. I say. There's only one way to find out. Murphy says. We'll get out of here so you can get some rest before your trip. Rachel says, standing. Let us know when you plan to come back. We'll meet you at the airport. Rachel says. Thanks, guys. I say as they leave the apartment. I stay seated for a moment thinking about Lena. I want so much for her to be happy and content, but there are things outside of my control. I get up and head to the bedroom. I get undressed and join Lena in bed. When I get in, I pull her close to me. I can feel her relax next to me. I love you, Lena. I whisper and kiss the top of her head. I fall asleep. When I wake up, Lena is awake but still laying next to me. She's running her fingers across my stomach. I smile. Good morning, love. I say, and she looks up at me. I smooth back some of her hair. Morning, she says. I kiss her forehead. You hungry? I ask. Actually no, I'm still full of pizza. I laugh. When do we have to get up? She asks. We have some time before then. I tell her. She turns back to my stomach. Lena, I was thinking. I want you to get to know me. The me before you. I think I didn't talk too much about my past because I didn't want you to have to bring up yours. I thought if we just focused on the future it would be better. So we have a long plane ride to where we are headed. I was thinking we could use that time to get to know each other more. And I'm sure my father will chime in on embarrassing moments from my childhood. I say. She looks up at me and smiles. I'd really love to hear those stories, she says. We laugh. I love her laugh. We lay there for another hour before getting up and ready for our trip. We get our bags and head down. My dad meets us in the lobby. We all head out to the SUV waiting for us. We get to the airport and load up. On the plane, Lena and I sit on the couch and my dad takes the seat across from us. Sarah, our air hostess, comes out from the front of the plane. What can I get you to drink, sir? She asks me. Is it too early for whiskey? I ask to no one particular. It's never too early. Sarah responds and she winks. What about you, sweetie? She asks Lena. Mimosa, please. She says and I raise an eyebrow. Well, it's brunch time. She says she's right. And you, sir? Sarah asks my dad. I'll have coffee like a normal person. He says, oh, can I have coffee too? Lena asks. She loves her coffee. Sarah smiles and gives me a look. I bet she remembers Lena from her first trip. How scared and timid she was. Of course, I'll be right back, Sarah says. She heads to the back of the plane. So how do you want to do this? I ask Lena. Do what? My father asks curious. Lena and I are going to spend this plane ride getting to know each other more. With everything that's been going on, we haven't been able to. I say, and he said you could share some embarrassing stories of him as a child. She adds with a smirk. Oh well, yes, I have many. Andrew was a clumsy child. My father says with a laugh. Well, we don't have to dive into those stories just yet. Let's just ask each other a few questions first. I say, well, I won't intrude. Honestly, I might go take a quick nap. When I come back, I'll share some stories that will turn his face red. My father says and takes his coffee from Sarah, who had just come out with our drinks. She hands us ours before turning to leave. All right, I'll start. What is your favorited childhood memory? I ask, wanting to start light. It would have to be when my mom and I used to bake cookies together every Sunday. On Sundays we'd have a pack cookout and everyone brought something. Those were fun. She looks off in the distance with a smile. I'm glad she has some good memories. How many women have you been with? She asks, looking me dead in the eyes. Sheesh, she went right for it. Are you asking slept with or had a relationship with? I ask. I want to be honest. Which is the highest number? I smile at that. She wants the cold hard truth. They are both two now. I say, so me and someone else. She asks. I nod. What happened to her? Where is she? She asks. Well, she found her mate. She lives across the water now in his pack. She's very happy from what I've heard. I say. I can tell she wants to know more. But Rachel said you were a bit of a player. She says in a small voice. I laugh. Well, I did appear that way. It was hard not to. I always seemed to get women's attention. She let out a small growl at that. I laugh again. But I never did much with those women. I knew they just wanted me because I'm an alpha. I say, placing my hand on her leg. Did you have any relationships before me? I ask. She shakes her head. After I shifted for the first time. My father had my mother and I thrown in the cells. After a few months he brought us out and told me that I would work in the house and I would be treated as an omega. I wasn't allowed to leave the house. The only people I came in contact with were my family, the Beta's family, Gamma's family, and visiting guests. She says. I wanted to murder all of them for letting what happened to her happen. What are some of your favorites? I ask, trying to lighten the mood. She tells me blue is her favorited color, tacos are her favorited food, When Harry Met Sally is her favorited movie, and she can't pick a favorited song or band because it's based off her moods. We spend the next hour just talking about ourselves. She leans into me and we cuddle. It's nice. We learn so much about each other and I can tell it relieves some of her stress. My father comes out from the back a little while later and joins in. He tells her about my test anxiety at school, how I threw up all over one of my tests. He tells her about the time I ripped my pants in training once. I think he's trying to turn me red, but Lena loves every story. She laughs so hard at some that she cries. I don't care how many stories he tells as long as I can hear her laugh. Before I know it, we're landing. When the plane stops and we step out and there's a car waiting for us. We get in and start our long drive to Lilith's home. After an hour of being in the car, Lena puts her head on my shoulder and closes her eyes. Catalina's POV: I try to sleep on Andrew's shoulder to pass the time. But it feels like every time I open my eyes we still aren't there. How much longer? I ask in a surprisingly sleepy voice. Actually, it should only be another 30 minutes. Andrew says. I sigh in relief. I sit up and look around. The road we're on is a bit rough and bumpy. We're in the thick of a forest. I can't tell if the sun is going down or if the forest trees are just blocking the sun. Possibly both. As we drive, I see what looks like a small castle-like structure. It's tall but not wide. It looks like it doesn't belong at all. As we pull up, we stop in front of the building. We're here. Catalina's POV: we are here. Andrew's dad says. We get out of the car and I look up at the tall thin building. I take a few steps towards it. Catalina, don't go to the building. Andrew's father says. I look back at him confused, and so does Andrew. We have to call for her. She has a spell over the home. He says. Lilith, it's Raymond. He says. The front door of the building opens and a woman walks out. The woman is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Her hair is as black as night, her eyes are the green of the forest, her skin is pale as snow. She wears a long tight black dress. She looks like she's in her 30s. She walks right up to me and stares into my eyes. All I can do is stare right back. Her eyes look older. She studies my face and eyes. She stops so close to me I can smell lavender and cloves. I hear footsteps getting closer to me, but I don't look away. Raymond, did you bring what I asked for? Her voice is low and firm, but also exactly like I thought it would be. Yes, Lilith. And he holds out a vial. She shifts her eyes to see it, and then, as if seeing them there for the first time, takes them in. Raymond, you've gotten older. She says, taking a step towards them. It's been 20 years, Lilith. He says, you look the same. He adds. She takes the vial from him, but her hand lingers on his. She turns to Andrew. My, he looks just like you did back then. She touches his arm and a growl escapes me. Relax, Kayla. He's too young for me. She knows my wolf's name? Come inside. I hear you have questions. I have some of my own. She says, making her way inside. When we get inside, it's bigger than I imagined, but not as witchy looking as I anticipated. It looks like a normal home. When we walk in, there are couches, a kitchen, a giant chandelier, and a corner bookshelf. It's all quite cozy actually. There is a winding staircase that goes up 4 stories. Put your bags over there and follow me. She leads us to the 2nd floor. Here's the witchy part. We open the door to a room full of books and images on the walls of symbols and figures. There is a table in the middle of the room covered in herbs and things I don't even know. She pushes everything on the table aside and throws a heavy book on the table, shaking everything. She turns the pages until she finds what she's looking for and points. The white wolf. That's you, dear. Saying it to me is to confirm everyone's suspicions. A pure white wolf will be born and the wolf will hold a power and their pack will benefit from this power. They will rule over all packs and they will be as one. She says, but we know this already. Let me finish. This is the basic legend which is true but not everything. A pure white wolf will be born into the world. The wolf will hold a power that, once released, will consume. The power will be given to all their pack. The white wolf will unite the packs as one. There is more, it talks about how it will be released, and certain events. My ears perk up at this. What events? I ask. Well, here it talks about 4 events but it's pretty vague, they just have names. The first one is called the bleeding. My memory flashes back to when Alpha Jackson cut me over and over and over. Then there's one called the rebirth. My memory flashes to when I almost died. You have to stop doing that. Lilith says, looking at me. Doing what? I ask. Your memories are like movies in my mind. I can't believe what's happened to you. She reaches out and squeezes my hand. I'm sorry, I didn't know. She smiles at me and keeps reading. The next one is called the unknowing sacrifice. And the last one is called death. She looks up at all of us. Death? What? It says that after each event your power will get stronger and more natural. After the second event it is unlocked but uncontrolled. You will need to complete the event to better control your power or it will consume you. When was your rebirth? She asks, looking at me. 2 weeks ago. I say, not completely sure. She reads more on the page. What happened after? What's your power? She asks. I can make fire. I'm not even sure that's true. What? What do you mean? She asks. Andrew speaks next. She radiates heat. After she was attacked and woke up, she changed into her wolf and we all went for a run. She was running so fast she started to glow. And where her paws touched the ground it left flames behind. Lena said it felt like she was flying. Lilith and Andrew's father say together. They look at each other. She turns and looks for another book. She finds it and places it on top of the other one. She flips through the pages and stops. I turn my head and read aloud, Phoenix. I look up at her and Andrew's dad, confused. I can't be a wolf and a phoenix, can I? I thought that too, but I think it's something more than that. Andrew's father says. What else has happened? Lilith asks, looking at me and Andrew. I didn't want to talk about the heat that comes off me. When she's angry she changes the temperature in the room. She does it when she's training and intimate too. Andrew says, and I blush a bit. And last night she set a piece of pizza on fire. He adds. But what does all this have to do with a phoenix? I ask, still not understanding. Well, the reason I believe your powers are related to a phoenix is first, because of the wording rebirth. Phoenixes are all about being reborn. Second, the rarity. Only one phoenix can be alive at a time. And 3, fire. The phoenix is made from fire. She says, what else can they do? I ask. Well, a lot is said about them, but not much is truly known. Their tears can heal, or bring people back to life. They can live up to 500 years or they are immortal. They pull their power from the Sunday. She says. So let me understand this. When I was injected with wolfsbane and basically died, I was reborn as a phoenix. I ask. Well, phoenix powers, yes. She says. She moves the top book out of the way and goes back to the original one. After the second event, your powers will become known. You have to complete all events to better control your power or it will consume you. What consumes? Fire. I think the fires will get worse if you don't complete all the events. She says. She pulls back the second book. When a phoenix is at the end of its life, it builds a nest and sets fire to it and itself. She says. What was happening when you set fire to the pizza? She asks me. We were just hanging out. I reply. In your mind, dear. Just think about that moment and I'll be able to see. She grabs my hand again and closes her eyes. I think back to last night. I think about all the questions I had and how I felt. I think about how my thoughts just spiraled out of my control. She opens her eyes, I can see tears forming. She smiles at me and squeezes my hand. Your thoughts consumed you. There was a point where you didn't have control over the direction they took you. She says this in a soft, low voice. I nod my head. How is she supposed to complete 2 more events if we don't even know what they are? Andrew asks, breaking Lilith and I away from our moment. I'll need to do more research on that, but I think there is someone who knows more than I. She says. Great, now we have to travel some more. Who? Andrew asks. Kayla, she says, looking at me. I've tried to get Kayla to tell me things. She won't. She says I will know. Like that's helpful. I say. Well, she might not tell you, but she might tell me. She says with a smile and then continues, but why don't we save that for tomorrow? I'm sure you already have a lot to think about and I'm sure you all are hungry. She looks around. At that moment I realize how hungry I am and my stomach lets out a growl. Everyone laughs as I turn red. Let me show you to your rooms and I'll make some food while you settle in. She says. She leads the way upstairs and stops in front of a door. This will be your room. She says to Andrew's father. And this one is for you too. She says, pointing to a room on the other side. We walk in and the room is really nice. The bed takes up most of the room. There's a circle window above the bed. The window will help with any bad dreams. Lilith says from the doorway. I haven't had any bad dreams since I started sleeping with Andrew. I say. I know, but I have a feeling things will get worse before they get better. It doesn't hurt to be prepared. She says as she makes her way down the stairs. Andrew comes behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist. Do you trust her? I ask, turning to face him. Well, my dad seems to, and I trust him. He says. Which is true. What about you? He asks. I don't know yet. Everything she's said seems to add up. It's just a lot to take in, and I still don't know what it all means. I say, staring into his chest. He kisses my forehead. Why don't I go grab our bags and you get on that giant bed and rest before dinner? He says. I look up to him and kiss him. He heads out the door and I jump on the bed. It's just as comfy as it looks. I guess I didn't realize how tired I was from all the traveling, because before I know it I'm fast asleep. I wake up to Andrew's voice, "Lena baby, wake up, dinner is ready." His voice is soft and I smile. I grab his arm and pull him down to me and wrap my arms around him. He laughs. "I know you are hungry. We have to get up," he says as he kisses my face all over, leaving behind the tingles. "I know. I'm just so comfy," I say, opening my eyes to look at him. "Well, the sooner we eat the sooner we can come back here," he says as I release him. He stands up and holds out a hand for me. I take it and get out of bed. As we make our way down the stairs, a delicious smell fills the air, making my mouth water. We sit down at the table. Lilith made a whole chicken, corn on the cob, and potatoes. I'm so glad I decided to come down. We eat and chat. So I have to ask, and please forgive me for prying, but how do you two know each other? I ask, gesturing to Lilith and Andrew's father. They stop eating and look at each other. "We were lovers, dear," Lilith says bluntly. Andrew chokes on his food. "It was before I met your mother," he says to Andrew. "How did you meet?" I ask. I don't know why I'm asking, but I was so curious. "Well, we met at a party, really. There was a union between a werewolf and a witch. They held a big event and everyone came," Lilith says. "I've never heard of a union between a witch and werewolf," Andrew says. "That's because they didn't survive," Lilith says. "Not everyone was happy about the union. Many were against it. Afraid of it. They were attacked and killed. No one knew who did it, but no one looked into it," Andrew's father says. "That's awful," I say, putting my head down. "It was," Lilith says. She turns her head towards the window and looks out. We eat in silence a bit. "Is that why you stopped seeing each other?" I ask. Who am I? Why do I keep prying? "Oh no, Raymond wouldn't be scared off by that," she says, touching his arm. "That's right," he says with a smile. "It was me. I called it off. I knew he would find his mate soon and I knew our time had come to an end," Lilith says. "How old are you?" I ask. "Lena, stop it. I'm much older than I look," she says. And that's it. She doesn't add any to it. When we are done with dinner, I feel exhausted. Andrew and I make our way to our room. I change into a large shirt and crawl into bed. I cuddle up to Andrew, he kisses me and I drift off to sleep. Catalina's POV. I woke up to the sound of birds. It was a sweet sound, not like the annoying ones you hear when you just want to roll over and fall back to sleep. These were happy birds. I don't know why I felt so peaceful. I was learning new things about myself and I still didn't really understand, but I felt like I was headed in the right direction. I had learned so much about Andrew on our way here, and spending time with his father helped. Andrew, of course, was being supportive. I really lucked out with having him for a mate. I couldn't imagine having anyone else beside me. "Kayla," I said. "Yes. You know she wants to meet you today." "I know, are you going to?" I will. But you will be tucked away. You won't be able to hear. I know what she wants to know. Here we go, cryptic wolf again. Kayla, do you know why I asked so many questions about Lilith last night? Do you trust her? Yes and yes. Kayla, will we be ready? You were born for everything that will come your way. But I will tell you. Some of what is to come will hurt. You have to trust me and yourself. I'll try. I feel Andrew stir. I look up at him and watch as his eyes peel open and he looks down at me. You okay, love? He asks. I smile and nod. Good, because you were right. This bed is so comfy I never want to get up. He pulls me in tighter. I giggle. He plants a few kisses on me and I kiss his chest. We lay here just taking in each other. His hair looks a mess but he is still attractive, of course. We heard in our minds. Kids' breakfast is ready. Andrew looks down at me and smiles. Ready to get up, love? He asks. I sigh and nod. He laughs and we get up, dress and head downstairs. Good morning, kids. His father says. It warmed me for some reason that his father called us kids. Like he has accepted me into his family and I was now one of his. We took a seat at the table and Lilith brought out food. We all ate and made small talk. Catalina, are you ready for today? Lilith asks. I've spoken to Kayla, she seems ready. I say. Will I want to do a little more researching before we get started on Kayla? I will get you when I'm ready. In the meantime you can hang out here and watch some movies. I don't have internet, but I have movies. She says as she stood up and heads for the stairs. Andrew, his father, and I all clean up and then get on the couch. I let Andrew pick the movie for once. He picks some superhero movie. I was just happy to cuddle up next to him and relax. I feel like so much has been happening we haven't had time just to exist with each other. When the movie was over, Andrew's dad went over and picked out a book to read and Andrew popped in another movie. Almost like perfect timing, Lilith came down as the movie was over. I'm ready, she says, and we all head upstairs. When we get into the room, the table has been moved and the middle of the room was clear. Catalina, can you sit in the middle of the room where the circle is? She asks. I sit inside the circle. I look up concerned. I didn't understand. The circle is for our protection. Just in case. She says with a smile. We will stand at each point of the triangle. She points to where Andrew and his father should stand. They take their positions. Okay, Catalina, can you call forward Kayla? She asks. Kayla, are you ready? I ask her. Yes, I'm sorry you can't hear, but it won't be long. Kayla tells me. Andrew's POV: when Lena opens her eyes, they were purple. She looks around the room and stops on Lilith. Hello, Kayla, Lilith says. I know what you want to know. Kayla says. What do I want to know? Lilith asks. You want to know who I am? She says. Lilith looks shocked, but then collects herself. What does she mean? She's Lena's wolf, right? Yes, I do. Lilith says I am Catalina's wolf, but I'm more than that. You know what I am, Lilith? As I know what you are. Kayla says. I feel so lost, This is probably what Lina feels like all the time. You are a part of the moon goddess. Kayla nods. What? My dad asks. I thought so. Raymond, meet Catalina, the daughter of the moon goddess. Lilith says, and my dad gasps. How is she the daughter of the moon goddess? I am so confused. The daughter of the moon goddess was cursed. It's a long story and we don't have much time. I have more questions. Lilith says. Catalina, what are the last two events? When will they happen? Lilith asks. The unknowing sacrifice will happen in 4 weeks. He will die by the hands of Lina. He will be a sacrifice to the sun god. The death event will happen 3 weeks after that. I cannot say too much or it will affect the events. If they do not happen, Lina will die. She says. Is there anything else we should know? Lilith asks. Andrew will have to reject Lina, he cannot mark her. She says as she looks at me. What? I would never. I say back. You must. And you must do it when I tell you to. What is she saying? How could I reject Lina? I won't do it. I say flatly. If you don't, you will lose her forever and die. How would I do it? I love her. I say with a plead in my voice. I can't lose her. I know Andrew, but this is the only way. Kayla says. You cannot tell Lina of what we have spoken of. She has not heard our conversation. Things will happen quickly once we leave here. You all have to trust me. And like that, Lina was back. Catalina's POV. When I open my eyes, everyone's face looks sad. Andrew wouldn't even make eye contact with me. What? What happened? I ask as everyone looks at each other. Lina, we aren't allowed to say. But I do need to talk with Andrew and Raymond alone for a minute. Do you think you can go upstairs and rest for a bit? Lilith asks. I stand up and walk out of the room. Andrew never looks at me. What happened? What did he know? Did I do something? I went into our room and pulled the covers up over my head. I feel bad. Andrew's POV. I couldn't watch Lina leave the room, it already felt like my heart was breaking. When I looked up, both my dad and Lilith were staring at me. What am I supposed to do? I can't reject Lina. She's already been through enough. I sit on the ground thinking of how unfair this all was. Son, I know it seems unfair, but the moon goddess has a plan. Her daughter has a plan. You have to trust her. He says so. I have to give up Lina? She is mine. I growl. I can't control Mark. He wants to take Lina and run away from all this. Andrew, did you hear what she said? She said if you don't, you will lose her forever. If you reject her, then you might be able to get her back. Lilith says. If she does not accept the rejection and events play out, you could reinstate the bond. She says, what if she accepts it? Could I still get her back? I ask. I don't know what Catalina is capable of. She says. Tell me about Catalina. I asked Catalina's POV. I was getting tired of waiting, so I went back to them to ask them what was going on when I hear Andrew's voice. Tell me about Catalina, he says. Catalina is the daughter of the moon goddess. Before she created us, she fell in love with the god of night. They had a child together, Catalina. Another god grew jealous of them and banished Catalina from physical form so the moon goddess and the god of night could not hold her or see her. The moon goddess grew sad and night grew cold. Because she was lonely, the moon goddess made her own children to fill the hole that was left behind. The god grew angry again and cursed her children to change into beasts before her. But the moon goddess gave her children the gift of choice to help control the curse. No one knows what happened to Catalina. Many say she died, many say she roams the earth. But most say she is waiting for her time to take her rightful place above all the moon goddess children. Lilith says. Wow, that's so much, poor moon goddess. Son, we have to trust in her. I hear his father say. How am I supposed to look Lena in the face now? Knowing I have to reject her. Andrew says. What? What did he just say? Did he say reject me? Why would he reject me? What is going on? I barely realize I am moving, and before I know it I am standing in the doorway. They all look at me but I stare at Andrew. I'm annoyed. Lena, what's? He trails off as I walk towards him. He stands. What did you just say? I ask him. He looks around the room looking for help. I feel heat radiating off of me but I don't care. I've never been this upset in my whole life. How dare he? Lena, it's not what you think. He tries to explain. But I cut him off. How dare you? I loved you. You are just like them. I felt nothing but heat. Stand in your positions. I heard Lilith say. I look down and see I am standing in the circle. I hear Lilith say something and I try to walk out of the circle but couldn't. Rage filled every cell of my body. I couldn't control it any longer and let out a scream. Andrew's POV Lena tries to get out of the circle but is stopped. Then I hear her scream. I throw my hands over my ears and watch as she completely engulfs in flames. Her scream shatters glass around the room and I see Lilith get cut on her arm. Through the flames I think I see Lena. She looks like she is floating about a foot off the ground but the flames are so thick. The circle keeps the flames from leaving the area but I can still feel the heat. After about a minute they are gone and it reveals Lena laying on the ground unconscious. I look at Lilith for permission to go to her. She nods. I rush to her side. Lena baby, are you okay? I take her hand, it's hot but I don't care. Lena, wake up. I stroke her face. She doesn't move. We need to get her to a cold bath. Lilith says and I pick her off the ground and carry her to the bathroom. I run the cold water and when I put her in, steam comes off her. She stirs and her eyes flutter open. What happened? She says. Lena, I'm so sorry, I love you so much. I say. Andrew, what's wrong? She asks. Lena, what do you remember? I hear Lilith ask from the doorway. I remember I was tired of waiting for you all so I got up and came down. I remember hearing about the moon goddess and then I don't remember much else. She says. She doesn't remember me saying I'm going to reject her. She doesn't remember setting herself on fire. I'm so tired. She says. How about we dry you off and go to bed? It's been a busy day for everyone. I say and kiss her forehead. She smiles and nods. Wait here, I'll get you some clothes to change into. I get up and usher everyone out. She doesn't remember anything. Lilith whispers. I know. And I don't know how much I want to tell her. I whisper back. She's going to ask. Then I'll make something up. I snap at her. She looks like she wants to say more but huffs and leaves the room. I go back and get Lena out of the tub and change her clothes. We crawl into bed and she fell right to sleep curled up next to me. I kiss the top of her head. You are just like them. She said. Was I? I knew rejecting her would crush her and I know that's what I'm supposed to do. What if I can't do it? What if I can't reject Lena? I either reject her, lose her, crush her, could possibly get her back. Or I don't reject her, lose her and die. These choices suck. Andrew's POV. When I was up the next morning I see Catalina sitting up facing me but looking out the window. You okay, love? I asked, sitting up to face her. Her eyes drift to me. I keep getting flashes from what happened yesterday. She says. Does she remember what I said? What kind of flashes? I ask. I remember the anger I felt. I remember the flames. Why was I so angry? She asked me. I really don't want to lie to her but I can't tell her either. All I can say is we were talking about what Kayla told us and then you appeared at the door. You overheard something and it made you upset. We trapped you in the circle in the room and you exploded into flames. I said, hoping it was enough. It was all I could tell her. Her eyes drifted back to the window. You aren't allowed to tell me, are you? She asked without taking her eyes away from the window. No, I said. Is it bad? She asked. Yes. Will it hurt? She asked. Yes. I whispered. She took in a deep breath. A single tear fell from her eye. I reached to wipe it away and she grabs my hand and places it back down on the bed. Then she got up from the bed and left the room. I got up and went out after her. She was already down the steps and then she went out the back door. When I got to the back door my dad grabbed my arm. Give her some time, Andrew. She's not going far but she needs some time. I look out and see a small building. Lena walks inside. What is that? I asked. It's a guest house. Lilith told Lena she could spend some time there today if she needed it. He said. When was that? I asked, surprised. This morning, before you were awake. I think Lena remembers some things about yesterday but she can't figure it out. Like there's a wall blocking her memory. He said. Catalina, I say. He nods his head in agreement. I hate that she is far from me. I just want to go over there and hold her. But I hold back and give her time. We all spend the next few hours talking about Lena, Catalina, and the Phoenix. I don't understand how the Phoenix plays into all of this. I say. Well, the Phoenix was created by the Sun God, her uncle. I'm not really sure why it now lives inside her. But from what I saw last night I'm not sure what else it could be. It also might have something to do with the sacrifice Catalina was talking about to the Sun God. Lilith said. We talk about our plans to leave tomorrow. Catalina said the events will happen fast after we leave here. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want the events to unfold. But I need Lena to be who she is meant to be. Around lunchtime I take some food over to the guest house. I knock on the door and peek inside. Lena is sitting on the bed and looking out the window. I brought you some soup and bread, I say, putting the tray beside her. Thank you. I'm sorry, I just need some time to think about all this stuff. She says, I understand. Lena, I just want you to know, I love you. I have loved you from the moment I set eyes on you in your father's office. My love has grown every day since then. I would never do anything to cause you harm if I can avoid it. She looks at me weird on the last words. If you can avoid it. She just repeats it. I also wanted to tell you, tomorrow we will be headed back. I say. She looks back out the window and nods her head. I leave her there and head back to the house. I feel a ping in my heart aching me to go back to her. But I keep going. Later that night I head back over to the guest house to give Lena her dinner. When I open the door I don't see Lena anywhere and fear sets in. I put the tray down and look around the room. I see the tray of soup I brought her earlier. It's untouched, maybe something happened and she didn't eat. I see a door in the back and burst through. Then I see Lena laying in the tub. She stirs and opens her eyes. I'm sorry, I just wanted to sleep for a bit, she says, and my panic washes away. It's been so long since she's slept in the tub I forgot she did this. It's okay, love, but won't you come back to the house and sleep with me? I ask, reaching out my hand. She nods and takes my hand. I pull her up and out of the tub. When we enter the bedroom I see she smells the food I brought. I brought you dinner if you want to eat first. I noticed you didn't eat your lunch. I gave her a look. She looks down. I was just so caught up in my thoughts. I'm sorry. I am hungry. Can I eat first? She asked. Of course, love. We take a seat next to each other. She eats as I watch her. She finishes and we head back to the main house. When we walk in, Lilith and my dad are in the kitchen talking. They come out to greet us as we enter. How are you doing, dear? Lilith asks gently. I'm doing all right. There's a lot I don't know or understand. But maybe it's for the best right now. If I'm going to trust Kayla and you guys, then I really need to. I haven't fully put my trust in anyone, ever. Maybe that needs to change. She looks around to all of us. Lilith takes her hands. Lena, the only true person you need to trust is yourself. I know this is a lot to take in. But you were born to be the person you are becoming. From what we have gathered, it will be hard and painful at times. Trust your instincts. Listen to Kayla. I hope one day you look back at this time as a part of your journey that shaped you. Lilith pulled Lena into a hug. I was surprised by this, but I saw Lena lean into it. When they pulled away, my dad placed his hand on Lena's shoulder. To my surprise, Lena hugged him too. Lena pulled away, grabbed my hand, and we went upstairs. We got undressed and crawled into bed. Lena curled in close to me and fell asleep on my chest. I listened to her breathing. Fear filled me. The thought of losing her. The thought of hurting her. The thought of her dying. And the thought that there is nothing I can do to stop it. Meanwhile, are you all in position for when they leave? Jackson asks. Yes, sir. He replies, good. If this goes wrong, I will hold you responsible, and the boss will know about your screw-up. Jackson says as he hangs up the phone. They are in position. Once they leave you will have the girl. Jackson says. Good. After your transgression with her this better work. You are on thin ice, Jackson. This is your last chance before I remove your heart from your chest. I say. Yes, boss, you will have her. Jackson says, bowing his head and leaving the room. Catalina's POV. Woke up on Andrew's chest. The warmth from his body was calming. I took in his scent and breathed deep. I kiss his chest. I love the feeling of him next to me. I thought back over everything that has happened and everything that has been said. I think about Andrew's chosen words, if I can avoid it. Which means there is something he's going to do that he can't avoid. Something that will hurt. And Lilith last night saying to trust myself only. Which means I can't trust them. A feeling of loneliness flows over me. But also a feeling of numbness too. With everything that's been happening, I feel numb to it. I sit up and make my way out of bed. I change my clothes and I head downstairs. I find Andrew's father sitting in the living room with a book. When he sees me, he puts it down and looks up. Good morning, Lena. How are you feeling today? He asks. I'm all right. I wondered if I could ask you a question. I ask, sitting next to him on the couch. Sure, ask away. I know you can't tell me why I was angry, but I wanted to know what I looked like when I exploded with fire, as Andrew said. He thought for a moment. Well, you are correct, you were mad. I could feel your anger. When we took our position, you tried to step out of the circle and couldn't. I felt the rage in the room, then I heard your scream. It shattered all the glass in the room. I saw your face. It was full of pain, not physical I don't think, but emotional. A second later, flames completely covered you and filled the space of the circle. I felt the heat from the fire. Then just as quickly as the flames appeared, they were gone. He reaches down and grabs my hand. How much do you remember? He asks me. I remember the anger. I remember the heat. I remember the fire. I remember the feeling of losing control. I remember feeling broken. Broken? He asks. Like a part of me broke away. Like I was losing something. It's hard to explain. I say. That's all right. We'll figure it out. He squeezes my hand. It's nice to have a father figure I can talk to. I've never experienced this before. I hear someone coming down the stairs and look up to see a sleepy Andrew. Morning, son. His father says cheerily. Morning. Is there breakfast? He asks. There is now. Lilith replies, coming out of the kitchen with food. We all get up and join her at the table. So when are we leaving? I ask after we all dig into the food. We should leave soon. We have a long journey back home. Andrew's father says. I nod. I need to finish packing up. But I have one last person to talk to before we leave. Lilith, can I ask you something? I ask. Sure, child, what is it? I know you can't tell me some stuff about last night. But I wanted to know, from your perspective, what did I look like? I asked. She looks at me and smiles. Oh, you were so mad. I haven't felt rage like that, well, ever. You approached Andrew and stepped into the circle. I didn't expect you to burst into flames, but I wanted to be safe. I told them to get into their positions on the triangle and I did a barrier spell to keep you in the circle. You tried to take a step out but were blocked. 3 emotions ripped through the air: rage, sadness, and something else. I didn't quite catch it at first, but I felt fear. A primal fear, and I think all of that together triggered the fire. You screamed and it ripped through the room. Fire exploded from you and it was hot. Left a good mark on my floor too. I saw you floating off the ground. I was flying. I cut her off. Haha, floating, flying is a movement. Then just like that it was over. She said. The table was silent. I know it's a lot to handle. But I have faith in you, Lena. You will make an excellent high alpha. She says. High alpha? I haven't heard this term before. Was that really going to be me? Should we go upstairs and pack up so we can head out? Andrew asks, bringing me back from my thoughts. Sure yet. I say, and we head upstairs. I start packing my bag, but something inside me feels like this will be my last moments with Andrew. I don't know why. I walk over to him and take the shirt that he is folding out of his hand. I place it on the bed. What is wrong, love? He asks, and I pull his head to mine and crash my lips into his. He kisses me back and wraps his arm around me, pulling my body against his. I felt his hands go towards me and he lifts me up. I close my eyes and let the electricity from his touch flow through my body. I wanted to feel all of him. Andrew, please. I begged him to enter me. You will have all of me. Andrew whispers in my ear. You feel so good, Lena. Andrew whispers into my neck, sending chills down my body. I could feel the build-up of pressure in my body. I feel him release and we stay. I love you, Lena. He says, pulling away from me. I love you, Andrew. I stand up and go to the bathroom, lock the door, and cry. I don't know why I'm crying. I just feel alone. I take a shower and clean myself up. When I get out of the shower, I see Andrew sitting on the bed with everything packed. Andrew doesn't look at me. I know he feels it too. Ready? I ask him. He looks up, puts on a fake smile and nods. We head downstairs and meet his dad and Lilith. We said our goodbyes and loaded up into the car. Andrew's father was driving, I was in the passenger seat and Andrew was in the back. We started making our way back to the plane. The car ride was quiet and I spent a lot of time looking out the window. After about an hour of us driving, we were still in the woods, however it wasn't as thick anymore. Then out of nowhere I see a large SUV seconds before it plows into the side of our SUV. It's like it happened in slow motion. My side of the car caved in, I slammed my head on the window and pain shoots through my head. I see Andrew's dad's head slam into the steering wheel. I can't see Andrew. Parts of the car are flying in the air. All I can think about is the pain in my head and then blackness. Meanwhile, boss, we got her. Jackson says. Good, and her mate? I ask. We have the mate too, and the former alpha. He says. Leave Raymond. Bring the mate and the girl here. Do not hurt them any further. I need the mate alive. I say. Yes sir, we will be there in a few hours. Jackson says. And Jackson, Keep your disgusting hands off her. I say. He better not touch her or it will be the last thing he does. Yes boss. Catalina's POV. Hello. I yell. I look around and I'm in a field. The grass is soft under my feet. Anyone here? I yell again. The sky is clear and dark and full of stars. Yes child, I am here. A melodic voice says behind me. I whip around and see a beautiful woman with long flowing white hair. Who are you? I ask. I go by many names but you can call me Phoebe. She says. Where have I heard this name before? Where am I? I ask. You are in my land. She says. What am I doing here? I ask. Catalina, you are here because I have given you a very hard task. The High Alpha. I reply. Yes child. I have given you every tool to complete your task and unite the packs. She says. I'm trying to trust the process. I say. I know child. I'm here to tell you that a war is coming. After your next event is completed. Not everyone wants to be united. And they will fight against it. Some will welcome you with open arms. You will have to make tough decisions. You have to trust Catalina. Catalina? Your daughter? I ask. Yes, you know her as Kayla. What? Kayla was the daughter of the moon goddess? Yes child, she is. I have one final warning for you. A beast is coming. You are the only one who can defeat it. You can, and you alone, Lena. She tells me. Moon goddess, can I ask one question? Go ahead child. When this is all over, will I end up with Andrew? I have to know. Child, there are a lot of paths that can be taken, and it is hard to see the completed path. I'm sorry child, but it is unseen. You will have help along the way, but trust yourself. Trust Catalina. There is light at the end child. I will be watching. She smiles and then a blinding light. I open my eyes. I'm in an unfamiliar room. It was nice though. The bed I was in was big and spacious. The room was light blue and the bed was dark wood with white sheets. Then I felt a pain rip through my head and I remembered the accident. What happened? Where am I? Just then a young woman walks in. She's in a uniform and her eyes soften when she sees I am awake. Oh good, you're awake. I will let the Alpha know. She smiles and comes over next to the bed. I am Nurse Mabel and you are at Winterstone Pack. We found you on patrol. You had been in a terrible accident. Do you remember anything? She asks me. I remember the accident. What about my mate? The young man in the back seat. I ask her. He's here too in another room. I didn't know he was your mate. What is your name, dear? She asks me. Catalina Black. Hello Catalina. I hear a voice from the door. A very handsome man is standing there. He has light brown hair, blue eyes, he stands about 6'2", and is very fit. Mate, was that Kayla? What did she just say about him? Good Alpha Liam. I was just going to go check on the young man. She says, please don't let me stop you nurse, I will keep our guest company. He says and gives me a smile that melts my heart. What is happening? He comes over to the bed and takes a seat next to me. How are you feeling? He asks me gently. His eyes were beautiful. Why do I feel drawn to this stranger? I'm in pain, but other than that I'm worried about my mate. I say, emphasizing that last to myself. I'm sorry I didn't know he was your mate, we didn't see any marks on you. I will have him moved in here immediately. He stands up looking very concerned. I'll have the nurse bring you some more painkillers. I'll be back in a moment to arrange the move. I have a few questions about what happened, but I'll ask when I come back. He turns and leaves the room. I felt a ping in my heart when he left. What is going on with me? After a few minutes he comes back in with a smile. He hasn't woken up yet, but he is healing well. He will be moved here tomorrow, if that's okay. He asks, taking a seat again next to the bed. His smell fills my nose. He smells like sandalwood and salt. It reminds me of the ocean. It was nice and comforting. I nod. As long as he's okay. I said to him. So tell me, what do you remember from the accident? What brought you all the way out here to my pack? He says. We came out here to visit a friend and we were on our way back to our pack when a car hit us. How are the people in the other car? What about Andrew's father? I say worriedly. Well, I'm sorry to say we didn't find anyone else at the site. Just you two. What pack are you from? He asks. We have to find him, he could be in danger. I say, getting worried. Why wasn't he there? Was he kidnapped? What is going on? I will send out a patrol to see if there are any clues to what happened. Would you know of anyone who would want to take him? He asks me, looking concerned. No, I can't say I do. We are from the Moon Lake Pack. I say. That is a long way away. Well, I won't keep you. You need to rest up, okay? He stands and touches my hand. His touch sends a warm wave through me. What was that? He leaves the room and the nurse comes back in. She hands me a cup with 2 pills for my pain and she takes my temp and checks my blood pressure. Your temperature is a bit high, dear. She tells me. I run warm. I tell her, which is true. She writes some stuff down on her chart and leaves the room. That evening there was a knock on the door. Alpha Liam steps inside. Catalina, I'm sorry to bother you, but I brought you a surprise. He says. He takes a step inside and opens the door and they wheel in Andrew. He is asleep and hooked up to some machines. They transfer him to the huge bed I'm in. It feels so good to be next to him. And I smile wide at having him here with me. Well, I'm glad I could help. He says, noticing my smile. Thank you, Alpha Liam, I can't tell you how happy this makes me. I smile at him. You are welcome. Get some sleep and I will see you both tomorrow. He says. When he is gone I reach out and touch Andrew, his body is warm and I smile. I curl up next to him and close my eyes. The next morning I open my eyes, still feeling the warmth of Andrew next to me. I stretch and look up. I see Andrew is awake. Andrew. You're awake. I say with a smile. How are you feeling? He's quiet at first. Then he looks down at me. Lena, I need some time. He says flat. What do you mean? Like to heal? I ask. No, from you. He's flat again. A ping in my heart. He withdraws from me and I withdraw from him. We are quiet. After a while there is a knock at the door. Alpha Liam comes in with a smile. Good morning you two. He says, making his way over to my side of the bed. How are we feeling? It's good to see you awake, Andrew. He says. I feel fine and a bit antsy. I tell him. I hope he'll let me out of this bed and away from Andrew since he's acting so weird. Antsy? Well, if you want to we can show you around a bit, if you're feeling up to it. He says yes please. I jump at the opportunity. And what about you? He asks Andrew. I'm not feeling up to it. Andrew says. Well my dear, we can head down for breakfast and we'll send Andrew up some food. What do you say? He asks. I'd say yes, but I trail off. You probably want to change clothes, maybe shower too. Why don't you come with me and I'll see what we can do? He holds out his hand for me and without thinking I take it. Andrew doesn't say or do anything. He just watches me leave the room. Alpha Liam takes me down the hall and stops. Is everything all right with you two? He asks with concern. I'm not sure honestly. I say I'm sure he's just recovering and in pain. He says with a smile and leads me to a room. Here we are. This is my sister's old room, she's off to college now. There's a bathroom and some of her clothes in the closet. Help yourself. My sister won't mind, she's probably the nicest person I know. He says with a smile. Thank you, I won't be long. I say. I'll come back in a bit and I'll show you around. He says as he closes the door behind him. I head to the bathroom and turn on the shower. It feels so good to be clean. I wrap myself in a towel and head over to the closet. His sister has some good taste. I pick out a green summer dress. I was drying off my hair when I heard a knock at the door. Come in. I said. Alpha Liam popped his head in. You ready? He asks. I nod my head. He opens the door more and I could see his eyes go up and down my body, and the feeling of his eyes on me made me warm. You look lovely. He says with a smile. I can feel myself blush. He reaches his hand out to me and I take it. We walk down the hall and to a staircase. He's pointing things out as we walk, but I am focused on the feeling I am getting from our hands touching. This is my office. If you need me for anything, I'll most likely be here. Just please knock first. He says. We go down the stairs and walk into a lounge area. A few people are sitting and watching TV. A man with black hair and tan skin is walking towards us. He looks older and very serious. I let go of the Alpha's hand and put the Alpha's body between me and the man. Alpha, good morning. He says and bows slightly. Jerry, how many times must I ask you to call me Liam? I don't think I can do that, sir. Alpha Liam laughs. His laugh puts me at ease. Beta Jerry, let me introduce you to Catalina, the young lady you found on patrol. He says as he guides me in front of him. Nice to meet you. I say quietly. Jerry looks scary, but in reality he is a big marshmallow. Alpha Liam whispers in my ear, sending shivers down my spine. You know I can still hear you. Jerry says. Liam laughs. I smile. I know, I could feel this one's fear and wanted to calm her. The Alpha said. Jerry looked at me. I saw a flash of sadness cross his eyes. His eyes I noticed were hazel and quite beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm fearful of most people. I say. He nods. It's nice to meet you, Catalina. I'm glad to see you up and walking around. He says. What was it you were coming to tell me, Jerry? Alpha Liam asks him. It was about the patrol you asked for to go back to the crash site. They followed the scent from the site but they lost it after a few miles. Jerry said. We should reach out to her pack to let them know they are safe and the former Alpha is missing. Alpha Liam says. Yes, sir. What pack are you from, kid? He says, turning back towards me. Moon Lake Pack. I respond. I will reach out to them now. Jerry says. Then he heads to the back of the pack house. He was my father's beta. I haven't picked a new one yet. I like Jerry, but he deserves to retire and spend time with his family. Alpha Liam says. Have you been the Alpha long? I asked. My father died 3 years ago and I have been the Alpha ever since. He said, I'm sorry. He looks at me and smiles. That's okay. It was a hard train but I think we are on track. Do you have a Luna? I asked. No, I haven't found my mate yet. He says, looking down. Let's get some food, I'm starving. He adds. We walked to the other side of the pack house into a large cafeteria. It was busy and several people looked up when we walked in. They are looking at me, don't worry. He bent down and whispered in my ear. I blushed again. He laughs. He lead us to a table and an Omega sets a plate in front of each of us. It smells delicious. I dig in. I didn't realize how hungry I was. Would you like to take a walk with me? I can show you some more of the pack. He says sweetly. I don't want to take you away from your alpha duties. I say. Haha, don't worry. Surprisingly, our pack is pretty quiet. You are the talk of the pack. He says with a smile. I felt my face turn red. Why does he keep making me blush? Well, if it's not taking you away from your duties, I'd love to see more. We finished our breakfast and we headed out of the pack house. The pack land is beautiful. How many pack members do you have? I ask him. We have about 300. We're decent sized. He says, looking out. Do you have a training facility? I asked. Yeah. Would you like to see it? I think they are still holding training. I'd like that. I smile up at him. I like his height. We walk over to a large building and head inside. We walk to the field in the middle where there are different groups of warriors training. We stop and he folds his arms in front of him and watches a bit of the training. I watched one group that was sparring. I miss sparring. Do you have elite warriors? I ask him. What makes you think these aren't my elite warriors? He asks, raising an eyebrow. I can tell by their training. I say, noticing the moves they were using. He smiles down at me. My elite train at different times. That's impressive that you noticed. Do you train? He asked. Yes, I did. I really like it. I said. Will, you are always welcome to train with my warriors, once you are fully healed. Until you are able to head back to your pack, of course. He says. We stood there watched them a bit longer. I realized I haven't once thought about Andrew this whole time. What is wrong with me? What's wrong with him? What is going on? Catalina's POV. After we were done watching the training, we headed back out. We were walking to a lake. Alpha Liam wanted to show me when a girl runs up to us. She looks to be about my age. Alpha Liam. She calls out. Ah, Carrie. To what do I owe the pleasure? He asks with a smile. Honestly, I can't wait any longer. I need to know who she is. She says, pointing at me. She is smiling and shifting her weight back and forth with excitement. I knew it would only be a matter of time before you'd show up. He laughs. Carrie, this is Catalina Black. He adds. Oh goddess, it's so nice to meet you. Has my cousin been showing you around? Has he been behaving? What pack are you from? Do you have a mate? How old are you? Whoa, Carrie, breathe. It's her first day out of bed. Maybe just one question at a time. Alpha Liam says, placing his hands on her shoulders. Carrie takes a couple of deep breaths and smiles. I'm sorry, I've just been dying to meet you since Beta Jerry found you. It's kind of boring out here, not much happens. She links her arm in mine, like Rachel does, and we start walking again. Okay, let me start over. I'm Carrie, Liam's cousin. What pack are you from? She waits for my response this time. I'm from the Moon Lake pack. I say. I've heard of them. Do you have a mate? She asks. Yes, he was brought in with me. I say, the Alpha, so you're a Luna. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. She unlinks her arm with mine and bows slightly. Alpha Liam just watches. Oh, I'm not Luna yet, please don't bow. I link our arms back and continue walking. She smiles at me. Why aren't you a Luna yet? She asks. Well, that's a long story, but basically we haven't made it official yet. I say, it's also very personal, Carrie. Alpha Liam says sternly. Carrie looks back at him apologetically. Don't apologize to me. He replies. I'm sorry, Catalina. I have a problem. I tend to ask any question that comes to my mind. It gets me in trouble a lot. She says. Alpha Liam laughs. That's for sure. It's okay. I have the opposite problem. I don't tell people anything. I say, great, I have a feeling we'll be great friends. She says, leading us to the lake. When we get there, is it lovely? It's not too big, I can see the other side, red and yellow flowers grow around the edge of the water. It's nice and quiet out here. It's peaceful out here. Sometimes I'll come out here to be alone. Not many people come out here. Alpha Liam says. Feel free to come to the lake whenever you want while you are here. He looks down at me and smiles. Thank you. It's lovely. I say. I take a moment to take it all in. I can feel his eyes on me and I like it. I need to get back to Andrew. I'm actually feeling a bit tired. Can we head back? I ask. Oh, I'm sorry, of course. You must be exhausted. Let's head back. He says, looking concerned. We head back to the pack house and Carrie continues chatting with me. When we are back at the pack house, we head upstairs. Hey, can I come visit you tomorrow? Maybe your mate will feel better and will join us. Carrie asks. Sure, I'd like that. I say. She hugs me and then heads back outside. Sorry about her. She's full of energy and questions. Alpha Liam says laughingly. It's okay. Thanks for showing me around. I say, reaching for the door handle. Anytime, Catalina. I'll see you later. He says. When I enter the room, Andrew is sitting up watching TV. Hey, how are you feeling? I ask, getting into bed next to him. I feel fine. Andrew says, not taking his eyes off the TV. What is wrong with you? Why are you acting like this? I ask. Lena, I told you I need time from you. He spits back. My heart aches. Fine, I'll see if I can find another room since you don't want to be around me. I say as I get up from the bed. I left the room and walked down the hallway to Alpha Liam's office. I knocked on the door and waited. Come in. He said, and I opened the door. Catalina, is everything all right? He asks, standing from his desk. I hadn't noticed the tears rolling down my face. He comes up to me and stands right in front of me. He wipes a tear from my eye and tilts my head up to his. Your skin is so warm. He remarks. His eyes were so beautiful and I melted at the sight of them. What's going on? He asks. His hand on my face calms me. I need a different room, please. My voice is shaking. Here, have a seat and tell me what's going on. He pulls me to a seat and takes the seat next to me. I don't know what's going on. Andrew says he needs time away from me. He's being cold towards me. He's never been like this. I say, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I just feel comfortable. He finishes my sentence. Yes, I don't know what it is. I say. You are welcome to use my sister's room while you both figure it out. He says. Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't know why I feel like this or what is going on. I say. Don't be sorry. I'm sure it will all work out. Do you remember where the room is? He asked. I nodded, not trusting my voice. Why don't you go take a nice bath and when it's dinner time I'll have it brought up to you? Okay. He says. I nodded again and headed to his sister's room. A bath sounded like a good idea. I turned on the water, got undressed, and slid into the warm water. I soaked for a while thinking about what was going on with Andrew. How can he say he loves me and then the next moment push me away like I'm nothing? Maybe I'm too much trouble. I bet his life was normal before he met me. Now it's nothing but problems and pain. Maybe Kayla knew he couldn't handle being with me and that's why I couldn't mark him. I haven't talked to Kayla in a while and she was quiet. But I honestly didn't want to talk to her right now. I got out of the tub and wrapped myself in a robe I found and stepped into the bedroom. I dried my hair and turned on the TV. I had been watching TV for a bit when I heard a knock at the door. Come in. I said, and Alpha Liam stepped in with a tray in his hand. Dinner is served. He said with a smile. He brought the tray over and placed it in my lap. Thank you. I said. Of course. How was the bath? He asked. Really nice actually. I'm feeling a lot better. I say. Good. Is there anything you need? I spoke with the nurse and Andrew is almost completely healed, so you should almost be ready for travel. He says. Yet if Andrew even wants me to come back with him. I think. I can't think of anything I need. Did you get in touch with my pack? I ask. Yes, Jerry got in touch with someone named Murphy, I believe the pack beta. He says. I nod. He said Andrew's father made it back to the pack. That's good. I say. Rachel is worried about you and I promised you'd call her tomorrow. He says with a smile. Thank you. I reached out and grabbed his hand without thinking. Of course. They both seemed worried about you more than Andrew, which was strange. He takes a seat on the bed next to me. He looks concerned. I know this is none of my business, but I have to ask. Has Andrew ever hurt you before or been aggressive towards you? He asks in a low tone. What? No, Andrew has never. I say. I'm sorry. Just the way they sounded on the phone, and the way he acted towards you made it seem like something has happened to you. He says, looking away. Something has happened to me. But not with Andrew. I say even quieter. His eyes meet mine. I'm sorry, Catalina, I don't mean to pry. And if you don't want to talk about it, we don't. He says, this time grabbing my hand. I was abused by my family and pack beta. I was also tortured by another alpha from another pack. I hid the scars so people don't see them. I say, trying to be vague. You can hide your scars. He asks, yet. Can I see? He asks, if not I understand. I'm just curious. He adds. I think for a moment. Okay, but I'm not ready to talk about them. I won't ask a thing. He says. I concentrate and thin my skin. My scars appear, I had almost forgotten how many there were. He moves the tray off me and offers me his hand. I take it and get out of bed. Take off the robe. He says. I'm surprised by his request. I feel his eyes on me tracing each scar. I feel his fingers on my shoulder following a scar. I shiver at his touch. He is quiet. He walks around me and then I feel his finger on my side, he traces the long one on my hip. My goddess, I'm so sorry, Catalina. He whispers. The man who did this to you should pay with his life. He says sharply. I hear the anger in his voice. He hands me back my robe. Thank you for showing me. I'm sorry, I will need to leave you. My wolf is trying to take control for some reason and I need to calm him. Enjoy your dinner. His eyes were dark and then he left. I stood there for a moment, a little shocked and a little vulnerable. I haven't willingly shown anyone my scars before now. Why have I been so willing to do so? What was happening between me and Alpha Liam? What was happening between me and Andrew? I crawl into bed and cry myself to sleep. I'm feeling overwhelmed again. I hate this feeling. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.